mistakes are.
Hello. We're about to get started, so everyone take a seat. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Sofia Altuna, and I work with Google for Entrepreneurs. I just wanted to kick off the evening by saying how excited I am that this is the third year that we've been able to host C4Q Demo Day here at Google. So this year, I'm particularly excited because it seems that every year our relationship keeps growing and growing. And this year, we've been able to have Android developers teach some of their classes, and we've had Googlers mentor some of the fellows throughout the course of the program leading up to today. I came to this event 3 years ago when I wasn't organizing it, and I got super excited, and immediately after, I looked up who I needed to contact to get involved, and here I am today. And so I think this is just a testament to C4Q's mission and how a lot of us that are here tonight are personally invested in it. So with that, to the fellows, I just want to wish you good luck. I was here last night, and I'm so excited to see what you guys have in store for us tonight. And then to everyone else, thank you for coming, and please enjoy your evening. With that, I'll hand it off to Edwin to give the actual good Google intro. And Edwin has been a great partner to C4Q, and most frequently, he's been a mentor to one of the teams here tonight. So with that, welcome, Edwin.
Thank you, Sophia. So on behalf of everyone at Google, I would like to welcome everyone here tonight. I know it's not always easy to find the time to come to these events, but we all really appreciate you being here in support of C4Q and all the amazing fellows to recognize the work that they've done. I think I speak for everyone who has a part in making this event possible, from the C4Q staff to the volunteers providing technical support, to the individual donors and organizational sponsors providing financial support, and most importantly, to the family and friends who are here tonight who provide the emotional bedrock for our fellows. We are all incredibly proud of everything that you've been able to accomplish in the past few months. I know it wasn't easy, but I hope you had fun and all learned a ton. Not just how to code or about working in tech, but a bit more about yourselves and what you're capable of. So for the first time out of many times tonight, I'd like to have a round of applause for everything that you guys have accomplished. Thank you. Google has a deep and long-lasting relationship with C4Q. Aside from being the third year we've hosted the event, this is the first year we've also hosted web and Android cohorts back-to-back. Google employees have volunteered with C4Q in a number of different capacities, anywhere from tech mentorship to conducting mock interviews, providing advice and insight into the tech industry, and helping develop curriculum. The list goes on. We're also very proud to be sponsored through our Google for Entrepreneurship program, which looks to foster spaces to innovate and create communities, in communities across the world. Personally, I began mentoring of C4Q last March, and at the end of last year, Sophia, who's been an amazing Googler that introduced me and helped with C4Q and organizing this event and many other volunteer opportunities within Google, convinced me to join officially as a technical liaison for C4Q. Thank you. So I've done a lot of other volunteering for tech education and with students through K through 12, with adults, inside and outside of Google. And what really attracted me to C4Q and made it special was just the direct impact they're having on improving diversity in tech and the workforce. And so that was really important to me, and that's really what made me want to get more involved than I was initially. Aside from that, I just moved back to Queens 2 years ago, and had been looking for opportunity to give back to a community where I was born initially, and it's been one of the best places I've lived. Sorry, Brooklyn. So it was just a great natural way to take part in the community and give back to a place that has given so much to me throughout my life. So when your mission is to organize all the world's information, you're going to need a lot of people, but not just anyone. You need people from all walks of life, all communities, all different backgrounds, because no company will ever know how to develop products or technology for everyone unless the people building them are a reflection of those communities that tech is used in. That's why Google has been so supportive and deeply believes in C4Q's mission to provide opportunities for everyone and anyone who has a career in tech. So, in case you didn't know, we're hiring. I hope to be working with you soon. Thank you so much. Now, I'm going to introduce Juke.
Great, thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thanks so much, Edwin and Sophia. Thanks to Google for being such amazing and generous hosts for our demo day tonight. My name is Juke Su. I'm one of the founders and CEO of C4Q, and I just really want to welcome you all for our Android demo day this year. It's going to be an amazing evening, and I can't wait for you to meet the fellows that are going to be presenting here tonight. So just very quick, giving you an overview on our work. We have a very simple mission. We want to create a technology community in which everyone, regardless of background and community, has the opportunity to participate, to learn to code, be engineers in the future, but also creating products, which you'll see here tonight, and companies in the future that we hope will transform the world. And we believe the fellows you'll see here tonight will be a part of that. Technology community has grown tremendously, created so much wealth and opportunity, but it's also exacerbated inequalities of who has access to that. And that's what we're here to do. We want to change that so that everyone has the opportunity to participate in that. We're extremely proud that we're able to have tangible impact in our work, able to increase the incomes of our graduates, and also serving a technology community that's reflective of the diversity of New York City, with people coming from all backgrounds. That's really what the technology should be about and what it should look like. And really creating opportunities for individuals to gain the skills and the tools that they're able to themselves realize what they have in their own minds and what they're able to create and realize their full potential so that we can have future leaders in technology. And, with that, it not only transforms individuals, but increasing diversity at companies is incredibly important so that there's a difference in perspective. And graduates from our previous cohort, they've gone on not only working at amazing companies, you can see some of the Android developers representing Android, and also starting meetups, working at some of the best companies, not only here in New York City, but across America. And we're extraordinarily proud. Tonight, you'll hear and meet one of 4 cohorts that are participating in the program this year. So that means in just a few months that we'll have over 130 new, talented, and diverse developers out in New York City's technology community. Our graduates, after the program, continue to give back. We're really lucky that they're not only working, but many of them are here tonight. They're continuing to volunteer, teach, especially for the Android program, and continue to give back as they embark in their career so that they can give back to the larger community. So really thankful to our graduates and alumni. Let's give them a round of applause for being there and contributing back. And today you'll see some of the products and passion behind what our developers are creating, but really want to also thank our funders and supporters, without whom none of this would be possible. I think we're really fortunate to work with some of the best organizations across business, philanthropy, and technology, and they not only fund the program, but ultimately why they're doing it is they believe in our larger mission and also really believe in every single person that is here and their potential and what they can achieve. So want to thank our supporters in helping make this possible. Let's give them a round of applause too. And as part of tonight's event, we've asked an esteemed group of panelists who are industry leaders to provide their real-world expertise and feedback into the apps that you'll see tonight. Our panelists will represent the audience as they ask questions after each demo, and also provide feedback after the demos to share with both our developers and the larger audience. And so let's meet tonight's panelists. First, we have Aaron Rudenstein, who is a Senior Director of Product at TripAdvisor. And he was previously also the co-founder of Citymaps, which was acquired by TripAdvisor in 2016. He started Citymaps in 2011 and led the company from inception to becoming one of the leading global mapping applications. Thank you and welcome, welcome Aaron. Let's give him a round of applause. Next, we have Sarah Walker, who's the VP of Engineering at White Ops, where she leads engineering, DevOps, and the QA teams as they build and maintain a cybersecurity platform that processes 150 billion transactions and 2 terabytes a day to detect and stop bots on the internet, like fake bots. How important is that, and how cool is that? She's had, almost 18 years of experience working as an engineer and leading teams, so really thankful that she's here to offer her expertise tonight. Let's thank Sarah for being here tonight. Next, we have Dion Redley, who's a Director of Engineering at Harry's. Many of you who know Dion, but he's been involved with the organization since before Access Code, this program started. And, huge fan, past one of our volunteers of the year. We're so thankful to have him involved. And also, not only here as a panelist, but being involved in all aspects of organization, mentoring teams as well. Yeah, and he's called Queens his home. Grew up here in the borough and been involved with the organization for over 5 years. So thank you, Dion, and let's give him a round of applause. We have Zohar Yardeni, who has been involved with C4Q a little while also, and he's an entrepreneur, advisor, and also product manager. Most recently, he was a product manager at Facebook, where he led product teams in a local organization. Previously, he had a product at Newton and ZocDoc, so some great, amazing companies, and helped them grow. And previous to that, he was an entrepreneur, also been involved starting a couple companies and selling one of his companies called Call Street to FactSet. So thank you, Zohar, for being here. And last, we have Graham Nere, who's the Chief of Staff at MongoDB. And serves the organization and helping grow the company from $5 million in revenue when they started to over $150 million in revenue over the past 6 years. Prior to being chief of staff, he had roles there in product marketing and sales at MongoDB. Thank you, Graham, for being here. So as you can see, our panelists come from a really wide variety of backgrounds, but all involved in different areas of the technology industry. I think that perspective is what's valuable as you see all the different demos and the different aspects that our fellows have had to learn to produce the products. So with that, I want to introduce Joanne Yoon, who is the director of the program. Let's welcome her as she comes up here.
Thanks so much, GK. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew I was flashing my Android phone, Android ride or die, to the Android fellows. Give me 1 second. Oh man, I'm like demoing already. Sorry. So like GK said, it's really a pleasure to be here tonight. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joanne Yoon, and I'm the Managing Director of Access Code. I'm so thrilled to be here tonight and for you guys to see the amazing demos that these Android developers have built. Before we get started, though, I'd like to share a little bit more about the journey that these fellows have been on, and it all started back in September. So 7 months ago, we received over 1,560 applications for the 9-month Access Code 4.0 cohort. Applicants came on site with volunteers from across the tech and professional communities. Some people who might have interviewed fellows that are sitting here today, maybe in the audience, followed by a 2-day, very challenging JavaScript workshop. So through that process, we were able to select the group of really exceptional fellows that are going to present to you today. So obviously, we're looking for the technical aptitude that it takes to actually come here and build the kinds of apps that you're going to see tonight. But that's really just scratching the surface. What we're really looking for through that selections process are things that run a lot deeper than just being able to code. We're looking for passion, determination, and ambition. And you're going to see that in spades tonight. So fundamentally, our belief at C4Q is that we want to be able to find and develop not only engineers, but future leaders in the tech community. So I think a lot of the apps that you're going to see tonight will be a testament of that. And you're going to see just what a big impact all of our fellows are going to make in the future. So Access Code, starting back in September, has been a really not only intensive but holistic program. These developers have gained hands-on experience in the fundamentals of programming as well as mobile app development. They've built increasingly complex projects, pair programmed. But beyond building these skills in Java and Android, Access coders have also honed their professional skills, started to launch what's their professional brand going to be once they become developers, Android developers, and also started to build out their networks of mentors and future peers in the tech industry. So going back to where it all started, the teamwork and passion for problem solving that you are going to see on stage tonight took spark on launch day, where every class of Access Code has as its first challenge to create a tower using nothing more than marshmallows and spaghetti. Since then, they have tested and pushed through the limits of what they could do and becoming better each and every time. Android, I talked about passion, determination, and ambition before. Those are the qualities that brought you here 3 nights a week, 7 to 10 p.m., all day Saturday, all day Sunday. You guys have sacrificed time and sanity, banging your head against problems that you didn't think you could solve. I think it's actually a C4Q tradition, for better, for worse, that the Android classes weather trials and become closer as a result. And I think part of the testament to that is the number of alums that are sitting here in the audience today from prior years of the Android class. And I think, Android for me, it's like a particularly close class to my heart. My first phone I got here in this office in 2007 as a holiday gift from Google. Android is a platform of the people, and I'm really, really proud to have you guys as the 4.0 Android class to carry that torch forward. No offense, iOS. You are also great. So I just want to close out by saying some thank yous, actually. So obviously what our fellows are able to accomplish is truly inspirational and exceptional. I want to take a moment to shout out first our community of volunteers who work tirelessly to help our fellows achieve amazing things in such a short time. Our volunteers impart really valuable knowledge through workshops, through one-on-one mentoring. And so on behalf of the entire C4Q team, I truly want to appreciate the support that our volunteers provide to Access Code, whether those that have seen us through multiple cohorts or those that are discovering C4Q for the first time. So can I get one round of applause for our amazing volunteers? To get a little bit more specific to what you're going to see tonight, I'd also like to give a really, really heartfelt thanks to the mentors. So what you're going to see as these product demos tonight marks the culmination of what we call the capstone project. So for the past 4 weeks, the mentors that you see on this slide, both technical, design, and demo and presentation mentors, have helped to guide our fellows through this last month as they built out the products that they're about to demo. So once again, I think it's a really strong testament to kind of the power of Android, that there's so many technical mentors here in the Android class who are here year in, year out, helping the Android team achieve its very best. So one really big round of applause to all of the capstone mentors. And my final words of thanks go out to the Access Code Brain Trust. So Access Code is now in its 4th year, and we rely more than ever on them to keep our 9-month technical curriculum both rigorous and relevant. The engineers that you see on this slide have dedicated their time and their energy to sharing their knowledge across each of our 3 stacks, full stack web, iOS, and Android. So again, James, Orda, and J-Rod, as the lead of our brain trusts, are each long-term C4Q volunteers who share our mission. And I'm really honored and I think privileged to have them as the leads of our brain trust in partnering with our amazing instructional team. So finally, please join me in thanking the entire Access Code Brain Trust. Okay, so to wrap up my portion, this is a slide that all of the Access coders in the room have seen many times, starting on launch day and maybe even prior to that during the application process. So these Android developers have spent the past 6 months immersed in the fundamentals of Access Code and spent the past 4 weeks building their capstone projects. However, this does not mark the end of their journeys. After demo day, they'll move on to prepping their individual passion projects, getting ready for technical interviews, and embarking on your job search process. So Android class, listen to me really carefully right now. What I want for you guys tonight is to take all of the energy, joy, passion, and that you're going to feel at the end of tonight and pour that, every single ounce of that into what is going to follow, the job search. I know it's not going to be easy, but neither was Capstone, and I have every ounce of confidence that you guys can do it. I'm so proud of you and so excited to see what you guys are going to demo tonight. And to tell you a little bit more about the project you're going to see tonight, let me introduce the 3 Android instructors who are going to be emceeing: Jose Vila, Rusi Lee, and Charlie Jews. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Charlie, everyone. This is Rusi, and that's Jose. We are 3 of the instructors for this year's Android mobile development cohort of Access Code. We have several more instructors here in the audience. There's maybe too many of us to fit on one stage. But our team is dedicated to making sure that the fellows are technically prepared for the new careers that lie ahead of them. And we recognize that learning to code is no easy task. It requires so much dedication and persistence. But over the last 7 months, these fellows have demonstrated that they are more than up to the task and have really brought the necessary passion and effort to get to where they are today.
So it's been an amazing experience working with all of you and seeing each of you grow. If you can remember back to the first day of class and how you introduced yourselves. Today, as you come on stage, you'll be introducing yourselves as Android developers.
That's right. Now, all that hard work culminates to tonight. 1 month ago, our fellows kicked off the process for the projects they're demoing here today. The ideas are all fellow-driven. Engineering is a team sport, after all, and all our developers worked in groups, combining their technical, design, and project management skills. Each team will begin by introducing themselves, then have 6 minutes to demo their apps for you. After each demo, we will pass the mic to our panelists for 2 additional minutes of Q&A with the team. At the end of all the demos, we'll have a round of comments from our panelists to close out the evening. And with that.
All right, and with that said, let's get this show on the road. I'd like to welcome Team Village up to the stage.
Good evening. We are the creators of Village. We're so excited to be here tonight. Please allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Ann Kohansky. I was the design lead for Village. I was a professional dancer before discovering a love of programming. While dancing, I did a lot of work with children in underserved public schools throughout New York City. I witnessed the creativity and curiosity inherent in all children, but also the systemic inequality that keeps so many kids at a disadvantage. As a hopeless idealist and humanist, I am inspired by technology's capacity to affect real, quantifiable change in people's lives. Upon graduation, I hope to use my skills as a developer and build apps at the intersection of art and social justice in an effort to level the playing field for all.
I am Mohammed Noor. I am the project manager for Village. I graduated from college with a degree in applied mathematics, where I built a love and passion for problem solving. The idea of constant growth and change attracted me to the tech industry. My passion for problem solving has led me to Android development, and after I graduate from C4Q, I plan to secure a position as an Android engineer in the tech industry.
Hi, my name is Brian Ramirez, and I was the technical lead on this project. I'm currently in my senior year of my computer science program, but as a student, I've always wanted more. I wanted to break out of the bubble of a traditional four-year experience, and being able to work on Village with developers from a non-technical background has given me a broader understanding of what software engineering can do for my community. I would like to continue to work with individuals who are looking to make a change in their lives, and I want to foster a passion for programming and software that can make a difference.
Hello everyone, my name is Gisandi Moite and I am my team's demo lead. I first got introduced to coding back in the 6th grade where I learned HTML and I was able to build my first website at 12 years old. I was super fascinated by that experience, but unfortunately I didn't have the resources to continue learning the skill. And so I ended up obtaining my bachelor's degree in economics. Now, as an Android developer, I do plan to merge both of my academic backgrounds and pursue a career within the fintech industry. I also would love to go back and teach kids how to code, as someone once planted that seed in me at 12 years old. Thank you. We're aware that people want to give back to their communities and they're just not sure how to, right? And so some of our competitors, GoFundMe or Kickstarter, they provide too much of a broad focus. You're able to see different campaigns from all over the world. And if you're looking to make a difference right then and there where you live, you're not able to, they don't provide the platform to do so because you might not be able to see people live different campaigns right where you live. And so what Village does, we are a location-based campaign app. We are truly committed to serving underrepresented communities, and so we allow you to see campaigns that are right within your location. You're able to see neighbors that are in need, and we provide a quick and easy platform for you to truly make a difference.
So here are a few people that could benefit from using Village. First, meet Elizabeth, a young human resources director living in Harlem. She comes from a humble background, but is now in a position to give back to her community and is eager to do so. But as she puts in long hours at the office, she needs a quick and easy way to locate neighbors of hers in need. Now meet Michael. Michael also lives in Harlem, but is worlds apart from Elizabeth economically speaking. Recently widowed, he is now the sole provider to 2 young children. He's also looking for work. Michael can use Village to create a campaign to ask his neighbors for help paying for childcare so that he can go out and get the job that he so desperately needs.
So Elizabeth launches our app. And she logs into her account. She's then prompted to choose what type of campaign she would prefer to see. Currently, she's interested in community initiatives as well as campaigns that are dedicated to helping children. She saves her preferences and is redirected to our main feed. She's given instructions on how to use our app. Swiping left dismisses a campaign. Swiping right adds it to her favorites list. Tapping a campaign allows her to see if it's a match for her. The first initiative that she sees is of a local college student looking for help with paying off tuition. She's not interested in donating to this, so she swipes left. The next campaign she sees is of a local single father looking for help with paying for childcare. She realizes that she actually recognizes this family, so she navigates to the map to see where this campaign is located. She realizes that this is actually a block away from where she lives. So she taps on a campaign and sees Michael. She reads her story and did not know that he had been going through such a rough time, so she donates now. She chooses her preferred payment method, PayPal, sends $20, and now has the satisfaction of being able to help someone in her community. While Michael is very grateful that his neighbor was able to help him through such a hard time.
Going forward, we want to give users an option to volunteer their time. We also want to add success stories to certain campaigns to show users how the app was able to help certain communities. And lastly, we want to expand that app to different cities because currently it's local.
Special thank you to our awesome mentors from ShopKeep and all of our C4Q instructors. We truly hope that Village can become a place to bring neighbors together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, team. Panelists, the floor is open to questions.
How, sorry, how do you envision handling bad actors in the system? So people who are creating fake campaigns or trying to abuse the system?
So we were thinking of implementing a verification method. So we were thinking of actually having campaigns backed by the platform itself. So something of a like Humans of New York style situation where we would be handling a lot of the promotion for a story and then either push these to the front, and then we would have a user review system and user comment system where we would allow users to give feedback of that campaign and whether there is any change or not.
How do you think about how do you think about which campaigns would get, pushed to the top of the feed or, more airtime for any given user?
So I think that's where the being able to work with a blogger like Humans of New York, where we would have sort of a journalist out and sort of following stories and seeing from the community itself.
First of all, I love the concept of bringing a community together in such a digitally focused way. And it's clear that this would be incredibly powerful in a city like New York or any dense city, and of which, by the way, there are millions of people who live in these dense cities. But is it true then that this would not really work so well outside of a dense city? Because in less dense areas, you have villages or communities that don't have that many people and therefore don't have the same ability to create financial aid for someone in need.
Yeah, I think at this point we definitely see it as an urban initiative, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you very much, panel. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Village. That app was fantastic. Please, let's welcome our next app to the stage, BlockC.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here. We are BlockC, and we're here to introduce to you our software. But before we get into that, a little bit about ourselves. My name is Kevin Toro. I'm the demo lead for this project. I come from a collaborative background in music, helping bands conduct themselves, and in my spare time, I help teach children the fundamentals of programming and team collaboration, much like my nephew. I also want to be a part of a company that has their actions and products speak louder than their words.
My name is Yogi Lam, and I am the design lead. So during college, I took many different courses, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and settled with graphic design. But as a graphic designer, I felt unfulfilled until I created my own personal website and a simple space invader game, but with a twist. That was the bridge that connected design and programming for me. I realized my passion is to be able to create something beautiful, innovative, and solve problems at the same time. So I wish to work for a company where people love what they do.
Hello, my name is Francisco. I'm the tech lead. I was born in Ecuador. When I was a kid, I had to learn to fix gadgets myself because I couldn't afford to get them fixed. When I arrived here, I accomplished my goal of getting my computer engineering degree. I realized I love coding. Writing code and seeing the outcomes have always been a joy for me. I see myself working in a company where I can challenge my skills and reach my maximum potential because that is what I strive for.
Hi, my name is Joanne Song. I am the project manager. I spent the last 7 years pursuing my doctorate in pharmaceutical sciences. I really wanted to be a pharmacist, but when I reevaluated how I was feeling, I felt a void when it came to creativity. That's how I was introduced to Android development. I realized through developing, I could manifest my creativity through apps and also help my local community. I want to work for a company that believes in sharing love and compassion, because that's the only way to find love and compassion for yourself. In 2015, our mayor, Bill de Blasio, instantiated a Computer Science for All program. This initiative means that every public school will have computer science in their curriculum and inside their classroom. In an increasingly digital world, this means that computer science is a different way of thinking and learning. It empowers students with practical knowledge and spurs confidence. Meet Miss Reina. She's a public school teacher in New York City. She's revamping her curriculum so that she can abide by computer science for all. She's looking for a resource that will help with computational thinking, creativity, and problem solving. She sees that there's a lot of resources out there that teaches children how to code, but they always fall short when it comes to classroom management and classroom progression. She's looking to find a resource that will help students like Benji, who flourishes under close monitoring and constructive feedback.
BlockC is designed with two demographics in mind, the teacher and the student. On the top, you see the student interface, where the student will be doing their assignment, and on the bottom is the teacher interface, where a teacher can monitor classroom progression. Ms. Reina download and open up BlockC. Then she logs in as teacher. As you can see on the roster page is the list of students that she add. On the left is the student name, and on the right is the character that's assigned for a student to log in. She's also capable of adding a new student by pressing the button on the top. But let's look at the first student, Benji, and his character is a duck.
Benji opens up BlockC on his end. He then proceeds to pick his name from the drop-down list. He can now pick the character that was assigned to him, and now he can log into his account. He's presented with a window where he will be able to see a list of questions assigned by Ms. Reina.
Ms. Reina can go to the question. Let's say she picked question 1 and 2 and assign it for a student to do.
Benji receives questions in real time where he can pick the question he wants to work on. Let's work on question number 1. Benji is presented with a window with a student workspace where at the top you can see the question that he's currently working on, and on the side you can see tabs that represent code. Let's work on this question. Drag the blocks onto the screen to have the sprite draw over the black line. First we go to the Start tab, and we drag and drop the when run. We then go to the Control tab, and we drag and drop a for loop. We can go now to Motions and drag and drop the blocks that we want the sprite to perform. We want the sprite to repeat these movements 4 times. We can now press the play button and the sprite will move.
Good job, Benji. So on Ms. Reina end, she could go to the progress. As you can see, the names are color-coded. So Francisco and Yuki, they're doing really well because it's green. And Benji is yellow, so he's doing average. And red means Joanne needs help and attention. But let's look at Benji. And if you click on the dot, it shows a screenshot of his last attempt for that problem. There are other competitors out there that like Scratch and Code.org, but they all fall short on transparency between teacher and student.
So we currently have a work in progress of a robot that's capable of replicating the movements of the sprite. This would be our curriculum on hardware. Joanne, you can go ahead and try that out. This little guy's name's Francischi, and he's also going to help us enable a feature called Free Play, where a student is then taken out of custom lessons and into more tangible robotics. We want to take a moment to thank our entire Android instructional team for helping us get this far, our friends and family for coming through and showing support, Google for hosting us, and more importantly, all of the fellows in Android, because you guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Great job. Panelists, any questions?
So my daughter goes to public school and does Scratch. She's in 2nd grade. Did you integrate Scratch then into that UI?
Yeah, so a lot of the primary inspiration for our lessons was from code.org. Joanne and I are currently teachers, so we're very much aware of the Scratch curriculum. So we decided to make something more mobile and accessible for teachers and students because all of these apps are on desktops, MacBooks, so we wanted something that's like in their back pocket and something that's also affordable for them. So.
You're absolutely right. So the API and the library that we use is the same API and library that Scratch uses, which is a BlockC API written by Google.
I think you're getting questions from the parents here. So as you think of the next kind of phase, if one of you is going to take this on as their individual project, is it more about the curriculum? Is it more about the teacher, student interaction, analytics? Like, where do you think is the white space in the market or the interesting, fun tech stuff to work on?
That is an excellent question. So we've actually put a lot of thought into it. We want to be able to have this app go into the hands of multiple teachers. Right now, we're thinking of a beta that we can hand to our co-teachers so they can explore the app, give us feedback, and then see how we can seamlessly integrate into the Department of Education.
That's all the time we have. Sorry. Thank you, BlockC. And next up is the Polymers team.
Hey everyone, we're really excited to be here tonight. Our app is called Polymers, where we do language immersion locally. Before we go into the details of the app, I'd first like to talk about everybody who worked so hard to make this app possible over the course of a month. I'll start with myself. I'm Boubacar Ba. I acted as a project manager for Polymers. Before tech, I was in hospitality and writing, which then led me to do a little bit of blogging and web design, working with simple web languages like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. After C4Q, I'd like to get involved in making platforms for creatives so they can more thoroughly express themselves in digital spaces.
Hi everyone, my name is Mustafa Zermatin. I am the demo lead. A little bit about myself. After graduating from Hunter College with a degree in economics, I decided to hone my skills in a different direction and dive into the tech world. I chose software engineering because of the flexibility of being able to work on various projects that have huge impact. In the future, I hope to work for a fintech company that uplifts people's living standards.
Hi, I'm Wayne Cummin. I'm the tech lead for Polymers. I'm new to development. I only started in the last 6 months, but I'm already addicted to it. Staying up all night just to finish a few features was probably the most fun I've had in the last few months. After becoming a developer, I feel like I've acquired a set of skills that I can use anywhere I go. I want to deepen and hone those skills in the future so I can make clean apps and ultimately be rewarded for it.
Hello, I'm Chantal Taveras. I was design lead for Polymers. I'm a geographer and an engineer. I decided to study geographic information science after I used spatial analysis to inform decisions made by a nature reserve. Throughout my studies, I learned Python so that I could create specific tools to solve distinct spatial problems, and I realized through engineering, you can transform complex problems into simple solutions. Now, as an Android developer, I want to bring location intelligence to the small screen so that ordinary people can make smart decisions.
Now, we understand to become fluent in any language, practice and immersion are crucial factors. These factors can be inhibited by one's social circle or, say, geographic location. While our competitors focus on things such as vocabulary, grammar, as well as virtual usage, Polymers will facilitate face-to-face conversations and provide suggestions so that you can practice and focus on the language of your choice, regardless of where you are, on your own time, regardless of where you are or who you know.
So Hector has been learning German on Duolingo for the past few months, and while he feels he's learned a lot of vocabulary, he's not very comfortable with the idea of traveling to Germany alone. So he decides to go on Meetup and try to find a group to practice with other German speakers, but no group meets at a time that is convenient for him given his busy work schedule. He hears about Polymers and decides to give it a try.
So Hector downloads the app from the Google Play Store, signs in, and registers as a user. He's first brought to the Explore page, which shows him German music, movies, as well as German restaurants that serve as an icebreaker as Polymers users interact. We then go to the People's tab, which shows us a refined list of users in our area. Hector can see the languages that their users are sharing, learning, their fluency levels for both, and the ratings that they receive from other Polymers users. So when we click on an individual user, we'll do Tiana. Hector can see all the little details about Tiana. He can even choose to invite, block, or just simply message her. So Hector's just gonna message Tiana. He'll give a nice little greeting to get things started. Sure, Che works. Hopefully Tiana will respond back. They'll agree on meeting, and then Hector will hit the invite button. From there, we're brought to a more detailed page where we can set all the details of the meeting. We'll start with location. From there, we're given a list of suggested places. I think the English Tutoring Center works perfectly for Hector. So we'll set that as location, then we'll set the date. We'll do April 19th. Hit OK, and then Hector will set the time for the meeting as well. We'll do something right after work. Let's try 6 p.m. Perfect. Great, and then we'll hit the send button. It'll confirm that the invite was sent. And then when we go to the notifications tab, we can see all the invites we receive and send. Now when we click on the invite, it'll give us a little bit more details about that invite, as well as when we press that little Google button, it will show us the directions to the location.
So after using Polymers for a few months, Hector was able to meet up with different German speakers and feel completely immersed in the German language. He felt very comfortable with his upcoming trip to Germany.
In future features of our app, we would like to grow our community because right now we're mostly based in New York. We would like to have a video chat so that we can add remote people to be involved in our app. We would also like to have incentive for the users to return to our app. So a reward-based system and a tracking progress as they use the app so that they can know how they develop as they're going along with their language.
So with that being said, we'd just like to thank the C4Q staff, the volunteers, as well as Google for hosting us tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Polyverse. I gotta say, with that app, I think we'll all be polyglots in no time. See what I did there? All right, panelists, would you like to ask any questions?
How do you imagine making money?
Good old ads, really. We don't want to make people pay. We want we don't want to provide any obstacles for people to actually join this. We want to be open. So I think ads would be the best thing so far.
I didn't see this in the demo, but what about a user that doesn't speak a language and is interested in learning a language? How can this app benefit them at the very beginner level?
Sure. So we really, really believe in symbiotic relationships with Polymers. Even if you don't know a certain language at the beginner level, we want to be able to match people of all different levels so that we're each learning from each other. If say, for example, a user speaks only English and they want to learn Spanish, they can actually match up with a user who's not so great at learning English, whether it be they just came to the country or that they just want to get a little bit better at English. So with that being said, we really want to reinforce this symbiotic relationship between users so that everybody is learning.
All right, any other questions? Great, thank you. All right. Now I would like to welcome Team Abode to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. We'll be presenting our app Abode, but first, we'd like to introduce ourselves. My name is Victoria Leon, and I am demo lead for Abode. Growing up, I always had an affinity for the math and sciences, and I even dreamed of becoming a mechanical engineer. However, I didn't always have the courage to follow my dreams. So I pursued a Bachelor's of Arts in International Studies, but after graduating college, I started working in an IT firm where I assisted in various projects. My job reaffirmed my passion for the field, and in the future, I hope to work for a company that's community and social driven and that fosters my growth as a developer and as a person.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Rivera, and I'm the design lead for the app Abode. So I initially started my career in media production, but as of about 7 months ago, I decided it was time to switch gears and learn more about the technology space. So learning to code has taught me so much. I've learned how to think in more logically, I've learned how to break down problems, and I've especially learned how to be patient with myself. After C4Q, I hope to combine my media background along with my new technical skills and work for a company who delivers amazing and innovative content to really anybody with a mobile device.
Hi, I'm Darnell Otto, project manager for Abode. I became interested in tech after an interaction at my last job. I was sitting with a customer and the software crashed. I then made a disparaging comment about the software. And it just so happened that this woman worked on the app. She then challenged me to learn how to code on my own. I took the challenge, I went online, and I found out I love problem solving. After a few problem solving sessions, I decided to look for a boot camp, found C4Q. After C4Q, I plan on combining my previous banking skills with my current tech skills and volunteering my time to help at-risk youth.
Hi, I'm Javon Arnold. I'm the tech lead for Abode. I come from St. Lucia, the best Caribbean island. I came across tech by accident. I was studying for my midterm. I came across Khan Academy, did a few JavaScript examples. I love the problem solving aspects and the ability to create something from scratch. It really appealed to me. After C4Q, I want to work for a community-conscious company and be a mentor for the youth in my village to provide them with tech skills and be an entrepreneur in the process.
New Yorkers know very well the hassle that it is to get a hold of our landlords. Whether to report an issue or pay our rents, the form of communication is oftentimes bureaucratic, unreliable, and antiquated. In fact, most of us still find ourselves mailing out a money order to pay our rent, or we still chase our super down the hall to report an issue, trusting that they'll communicate it to our landlord. But time goes by and nothing's resolved. In more serious cases, our last resort is 311. We followed the long and tedious process only for them to get back to us weeks later, asking if we ever got a hold of our landlords. In short, the problem is there's no efficient way of communication between property owners and renters. Our solution is to create an app that streamlines communication between landlords and tenants.
So like any app that's out on the market, we know we have competitors. There are apps like Building Link and ClickPay that seem to only target one side of the tenant-landlord relationship. But Abode is different because we actually merge both user functionalities into one easy and convenient to use application. So if you're signed on as a tenant, you're able to pay your rent, you're able to submit maintenance requests, as well as have access to resources. And if you're signed in as a landlord, you are able to track the rent payments, schedule requests, and also have access to the same resources.
This is Robin. She's lived in the Bronx for the past 26 years in the same building. Every month, her main concerns are making sure her payments are on time and making sure that any maintenance requests she has are met. This is Michael. Michael owns the building that Robin lives in. His monthly concerns are that the payments are made on time because he has a mortgage on the property, and also the living conditions of his tenants. With our app, Michael will send a link to Robin. Robin will then be greeted with a sign-up page when she clicks the link, then asked to place simple sign-up data like her first name, last name, email address, and phone number. She's then asked to log in for the first time. On the dashboard, when she logs in, she's presented with payments, which is very important to her, maintenance requests, followed by documents such as leases, and building resources.
All right, time for the demo. On your left-hand side is the tenant, and the right-hand side is the landlord. Now, let's say next week is my rental due date. I want to pay my rent. I can press the rental button. On top is my balance, $600. I'm pretty lucky. I put in my amount. I press pay. Put in my credit card information. Which is the number. This is not a real number, by the way. Don't steal my information. The month and the date. I press submit. I'm greeted by this lovely prompt after. So it's my confirmation number. And you notice that, well, that the landlord gets notification saying this tenant has paid and also tracks the percentage of the rent he has received. Let's say it's my first week in the apartment. I come in, there's a leaky roof on a file maintenance request. I can press the maintenance tab, press the add button, fill out the easy to fill form. It's a short subject. Priority. Description. And just a quick picture after. I can press submit. And as you noticed, I can keep track of all my tickets, and the landlord can also receive these tickets and also track it from pending, submitted, and completed.
So for future iterations of our application, we'd like to incorporate a messaging dialogue within the maintenance feature in order for the tenant and landlord to be able to communicate in real time. We'd also like to incorporate a bulletin board for the entire building, as well as the option to book amenities and to be able to pay the actual rents on the application.
Special thanks to our mentors and instructors, and of course to you, the audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abode. I can't wait for my landlord to download the app. Now, open up to the panel. Please, questions.
Ask a quick one. What was the most challenging part here? Was it the eventing kind of between the two apps, or the fact that you had two different users, or what was technically the thing that you poured most your time and effort into?
I believe it was connected to the cloud. Of course, that was real difficult, but it was our first time, and I believe we did a great job.
Is there an origin story for this? What made you all choose to build this particular app?
So I actually have a friend who was paying her rent and she lost a check in the mail. So it's been a whole hassle for her. She had to get people involved in the situation, but essentially she lost the rent check and the payment wasn't processed. She was even charged extra for that. So we realized that this is something that's necessary for anybody who has to pay rent.
During the process, did you talk to any landlords about this? And if so, what was their feedback and what did you learn?
We actually did. Our tech mentor is actually a landlord, so we got a lot of great feedback from him. He was he came with a lot of great points, and we even added the documents for him. Hi, Michael.
Okay, thank you very much, panel. Thank you so much, team. Now, please join us. Our next team coming up with their app, We Care.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Google, for hosting us here today. Thank you, panelists, for finding time to view our demos. We're a team, We Care. I will start with introducing myself. I'm Volka Kaleda, and I'm a demo lead at We Care. I've come a long way to become an Android developer. I started as a linguist back home in my home country, Belarus. Then I moved to international relations field, and currently I'm working in a fintech. I work as IT project coordinator at the World Bank, and I'm open for an opportunity to work in a company that lives and breathes by innovation.
Hi, my name is Amar Ahmed, and I'm the design lead at We Care. Ever since I was a child, I always loved to tinker with puzzles. In high school, I was introduced to the world of coding. There I saw that you could combine the virtual world into the real world. Learning Android development, I immediately fell in love with it because you're able to reach so many people across the world. Going forward, I would love to work in a small, passionate team developing healthcare apps for people around the world.
Hello, my name is Raheel Naz. I'm the project manager at WeCare. I was first introduced to coding through this video game called Minecraft. In Minecraft, I created logical gates and logical circuits, and I ended up creating a digital clock. So this was actually a topic in computer science called computer architecture and design. And after I fell in love with computer science, I started to pursue it, and now I'm trying to take my theoretical knowledge and bring it into the practical world of Android development. And in the future, I would like to work for a startup as a back-end developer. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Murad Rakhimov, and I am a tech lead in WeCare. I always enjoyed creating and building new things. I finished university in business management, majoring in construction, and I managed small construction company. I thought this is my field until I had to find someone to develop a web page to my company. This is when I first time was introduced to programming. Now I still like creating and building new things, but I enjoy more creating and building apps. The app that we wish to present to you today is WeCare. Based on a real-life stories, back in my home country, Tajikistan, mother of my best friend suffered from health condition. She had her test taken and analysis ready, but no local doctor was able to diagnose diseases. She had to travel outside of the country to seek for help. Her family spent last cents to make sure she could be consulted by best doctors. This story had a happy end, but there are others that had not.
So WeCare aims to increase access to medical professional resources for people from developing countries, conflict-affected countries, as well as fragile states. Doctors from all over the world will register with WeCare to help people beyond borders. If you have your medical test taken and seek a professional interpretation of your results, if you seek guidance on the best clinic that specializes on treating a specific type of disease, or you just seek mere advice on your health condition, WeCare is there to help anyone. With WeCare, no travel is required. It saves time, it saves money, and most importantly, it saves lives.
WeCare is a crowdsourcing platform connecting doctors from all over the world to patients all over the world. Our app has two different modules. One module is for the patients. In this case, Ricardo, he's able to go to our app and he's able to post his medical needs anonymously. He's able to get replies, comments from qualified doctors. He's also able to see the details about all the doctors available in our app. The next module is the doctor module. In this case, Liz, she's able to go to the app. She's able to see the patient's case and post. She's able to comment on any or all posts. She's able to see other doctors' replies. Last but not least, she's able to go to the doctor's forum where she's able to collaborate and share her own experience with other doctors around the world. Now we would love to give you a demo of our app. Since Ricardo is having some kidney pain, he starts the WeCare app. He's greeted to the onboarding process where it gives a bit more synopsis to the app. Since he's a new user, he's registered as a new user. Picks a username and password for future verification. He will be greeted to the terms and condition. This is very important to the end user because it clearly states that WeCare is not a healthcare app or a health provider, and it's also not subject to the HIPAA laws because we don't store any medical records, and he clicks accept. He's taken to the My tab of patient. He's able to add more information if he chooses to, but since he's having an emergency, he goes to the post section of the app and he creates a new post. He chooses the doctor that he requires. In this case, it's a urologist, and he types a message, kidney pain. He's also able to attach an image of his previous diagnostics and save the post.
Liz is already registered as a user with WeCare. After logging in, she ends up in her profile page. We can see some more detailed information on her, as well as how active she has been in WeCare. So far, she has provided 19 comments to different posts. She goes under to all patients posts and can see all of the cases that have been posted by different patients. She filters by her specialty, which is urology, and she can see kidney pain posts coming from Ricardo. She comments on that.
Great. Ricardo receives a real-time notification. He's able to write a follow-up. He thanks the doctor. He is able to go back to...
Time constraints.
He's able to go back to the post, and he's able to mark it as resolved.
So Liz can see that, can navigate again to her to all of the posts under urology, can see that the case has been resolved and requires no further attention from any doctor.
Ricardo is also able to go to the doctors tab, and he's able to scroll through a list of all the available doctors in our app. He's also able to search for the particular doctor that helped him, and he's able to see the years of experience, country of origin, experience, and the graph displays how active the doctor has been.
Liz also, apart from volunteering, has a full-time job in a clinic, so she can participate in a doctor's forum where she can either post her own question, medical-related questions, or just answer any question that other doctors have previously posted. And in future iterations, yes, I'm sorry.
In future iterations, we would like to bring different languages. We would like to automate the doctor's license verification and introduce video chatting between doctors and patients.
Thank you so much for your attention. We would like also to thank Google for hosting us, C4Q Management for making such a great program for everyone to participate, all our staff, and everyone who helped along this way to make this product successful. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Mod.
Okay, panelists, just one question. Sorry, we're almost out of time, but one question. Okay.
Great app. This has a lot going on in it. There's a lot of data. There's a lot of comparison of data between different things. What is the back end like for this?
The back end is all Firebase. So we used Firebase to store the images, the amount of comments they've done, the posts they've done, and the doctor posts they've done. Even the search is all back end. We have real-time notifications using Node and JavaScript, but we weren't, it costs money, so we didn't use that. But we have 3 different notifications. So when you do a new comment, the specific user will get a notification for a comment. If you do a doctor post, all doctors will get a comment. If a patient posts, all doctors will know that a new patient has posted and requires help. So that's done through Cloud Functions, Google Cloud Functions, Firebase. So.
Any other questions?
Sorry, we'll have time for one. Sorry. That was a great idea with potentially global impact. Thank you, WeCare. Next up is Team Blastoff. Pew!
Good evening, everyone. We're BlockC Pew, an app meant to get kids excited about space. But before we dive into that, we'd like to introduce ourselves.
Hi, my name is Saran, and I'm an Android developer. Technology and applications always interest me, as they add so much fun to our lives. And that sparked my interest in coding. Coding allows me to build things from scratch and to implement new ideas. In the future, I want to work in a team that is passionate about building innovative and fun apps.
I'm Chelsea. I'm an Android developer, and I care about solving large-scale problems and also offering a great user experience. My journey into software development came during college, where I joined a startup, and we focused on helping truck drivers with companies that needed deliveries. During my time there, I realized I couldn't talk to our developers because I didn't have a technical background, and that's why I joined C4Q. So I hope to join back the startup community as a software developer.
Hi, my name is Oleg, and I'm an ambitious Android developer. I've always been fascinated by all things tech, both software and hardware. And recently, upon discovering the Android framework, now I have the ability to vividly imagine how the next novel idea or gadget will influence the world at large. When I get immersed in code, I feel like the world stops around me, and I enjoy absolutely every second of it. My future plan is to work at an innovative company such as your Googles, Facebooks, or Amazons, and simply build cool stuff. I'm imagining that I'll always be looking for the next big idea to guide my path.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tarakwa, and I am a solutions-oriented Android developer. My background as a project and program manager has influenced my transition into the tech ecosystem. I very much look forward to creating awesome enterprise software that allows businesses to run more efficiently and effectively. On top of that, I am interested in becoming a COO and/or, here I am, and/or chief of staff. Because I'm very much interested in business strategy, engineering, and product. Thank you.
Nowadays, everywhere you look, you see young kids playing with their mom's iPad or their brother's smartphone. And there are a lot of apps centered around space, but most of them tend to be games. There are not a lot of apps that are both educational, comprehensive, interactive, and fun. That's why we have
Blast Off, which is an educational app that is targeted towards students 9 years and older that teaches using puzzles as well as augmented reality along with fun facts to engage our students and guide them with space exploration.
We'd like for you to meet Joyce and Chloe. They're best friends. They're both 5th graders. They sit next to each other in science class, and they're both mobile technology natives. Now, Joyce might be interested in learning more about space, so she borrows her brother's Google Pixel, jumps on the Play Store, and downloads Blast Off. And at the recommendation of her friend Joyce, Chloe will download the app on the Google Play Store, from the Google Play Store on her Chromebook. So we'd like for you to see how Joyce and Chloe might interact with the app.
And we are ready to blast off. So now the user lands on our landing screen, and they get to pick experience uniquely their own. We will start with Roxy the Rocketeer. So the user is greeted by a fun animation with some introduction text to lead them up to the next screen. Now, 3, 2, 1, the user interacts with our puzzle. The purpose of the puzzle is for the user to have fun, to be able to build their own replica of a Falcon Heavy rocket, but the ultimate purpose is for them to discover facts about space, SpaceX, Mars, anything space related along the way, so ultimately they can learn something. Now we're going to head off with Aaron and our mission to Mars. So now we're on Mars. After you give the app permission, the app will use the phone camera to texture the surface of Mars on any flat surface. You can interact with the surface. You can then place droids upon the surface. When you place enough of them, you get greeted with a badge. The badge is to provide positive reinforcement for children to keep on experiencing, to keep on learning, keep on interacting. Now we're going to go with Enid the Explorer. So Enid the Explorer comes across a different screen. This screen, of which purpose is to give them actual real-life representations of the things they just played around with, or puzzled with, or interacted with. So here you have real-life images of Mars from one of NASA's rovers. Next, we're going to look upon past missions that SpaceX has embarked on. If the user is interested, they can learn more. They can use our app as a basis to further explore that field.
Moving forward, we want Blast Off to have a sound effect, additional fun animations. We want users to have a more immersive AR experience. We also want to include information of constellations, asteroids, other planets, and other space-related technology like satellites and space stations.
We'd like to thank you, our mentors, and to our peers that helped us with the app. We'd also like to thank you, our friends and family who have come out today. We'd like to thank you, the panelists, and we also like to thank you, Google, for hosting us tonight. We hope you'll blast off with us. Pew!
All right, blast off. I think that will really keep kids reaching for the stars. Yeah? All right.
Getting better.
Panelists, please ask some questions.
Where did you guys get the idea from?
Well, I'm a former New York City public school teacher. I taught 5th grade through 8th grade, and I taught math as well as a performing arts component as I'm a classically trained dancer. And our students are the future, you know? So you see that we have many teachers in the audience, and just the next generation is what influences us. So always children first. They're our future. Come on with it.
A lot of a lot of credit for getting the AR working. I was nervous there.
No need.
What was the biggest challenge? Like I would assume to have been the AR. What were some of the challenges I guess you guys had along the
I'll
way?
definitely let our tech lead, Oleg, discuss that more for you.
So before us introducing AR in this app, we had never worked with AR before. And we were able to find some introductions to AR using Google's Code Labs. But ultimately, what was the most difficult part about it is that there's so many different components to it to make it working. There's the model of the droid, there's the texturing of the flat surfaces, recognizing of flat surfaces. There's making the surface recognizable for you to point your camera at. So it was just a learning experience. It was basically, we made something work, something broke, made something work, iterative process all the way.
Thank you to Derek and Shannon that helped us cast our presentation so that you didn't have to be too nervous. I just went over there and it came up right away instead of searching for surfaces. So thank you so very much for that.
Any more questions, guys?
We're ready.
All right. Thank you, Team Blast
Thank you so
Off.
much.
And believe it or not, we only have one more demo to go. We're almost done. Please join me in welcoming our final team, Group, to the stage.
Thank you, C4Q, for saving the best for last. All right. So good evening, everyone. We are the Code Marionettes, and today we have the pleasure of presenting an app called Group for you guys, right? But before we get started, we would like to present and talk a little bit more about us. My name is Melina Gonzalez, and I'm the demo lead for Group. Simply put, I like to build things, mobile things. Before starting my adventure as a software engineer, I acquired a bachelor's degree in film, but quickly found that my passion didn't lie there. I was intrigued with ideation. And for the future, I would like to work for a company that makes our lives a little easier, us humans a little lazier, by allowing us to spend more time at home and really enjoying the true walks of life.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Ashley Wakim, and I'm the project manager for the Group app. So I enjoy coding because I enjoy the problem-solving aspect of it all. I like finding multiple solutions for every problem I encounter, and every bug is an opportunity to learn something new. So after my time at C4Q, I want to take my skills and bring them to organizations such as Black Girls Code and Yes We Code because I envision a future in STEM that includes more women of color. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tatiana Moronta, and I am the tech lead for Group. I became a software developer because after working in healthcare for 6 years, I realized I didn't just want to use the tools we were given. I actually wanted to create new ones in order to solve some of the persistent problems that we faced every day. After making the transition, programming has given me the courage and platform to actually follow through with a lot of goals I never had the skills to, such as hopefully one day working on tools that track down victims of human trafficking. I look forward to learning as much as I can from this field and to growing as an Android developer. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm AJ Oxendine. I'm the UI lead for Group. I really like building things. I love trying to figure out how something works and how I could make it work better. In the past, this has led me to study music composition, art, and graphic design. And now that I'm learning to program apps, I like to apply the principles of design and structure to my future application projects.
Thank you. So there's a problem, right? According to the Daily Edge, there are 13 agonizing stages of organizing a night out with your friends, right? There's picking a time, there's picking a place, there's picking a date, and then finally, setting on a venue that fits everyone's budget, all that can be time-consuming.
Our solution is the Group app. Group makes going out with your picky friends easy. We assist users in finding a list of places to go that meets everyone's preferences, as well as a place that fits within everyone's preferred travel distance.
All right, everybody, so now we're gonna meet Joanne. She wants to invite her friends out to celebrate her promotion. So she lives all the way up in the Upper East Side, and she prefers the ambience of a lounge. Now we're gonna meet Mike, one of Joanne's guests. He lives all the way in Bushwick, and he likes jamming out on rooftops.
Key features of this app include creating an event and inviting your picky friends, finding a list of venues that meet everyone's preferences, and being able to vote on those venues. And at the end, you can see which place has the highest votes, and that's where you all go.
So we're going to combine Joanne's preference of lounges and Mike's preference of rooftops, and we're going to return a list of overlapping venues in which they will both be able to vote on. Now, these are a list of some of our competitors, but what we noticed with them is that they only really cater to individuals, and they're not as easy to use when it comes to groups of people.
All right, so now we're gonna check out how easy it is to create an event on Group. So Joanne is immediately greeted with her onboarding screen in which she's gonna choose some of her preferences. In this case, she's gonna choose lounge, and then she's gonna choose hookah. She's gonna move on to the next screen, then she's gonna choose rooftops. And of course, you know, we all love brunch. She's gonna proceed to the next screen. Cool, so Joanne, let's create an event. And we're gonna name this event JoJo. We're gonna pick a date, pick a time. Awesome. And then she's gonna choose whether she wants her bar preferences or her restaurant preferences. In this case, we're going with bar. Then she's gonna invite her friends, because she's not a lonely girl. Awesome. Just confirm the details on that event, and then she's finally gonna create that event. Cool. So now she's granted with a screen that gives her all the details, and finally she's gonna cast her vote. So she's gonna swipe right if she likes, and left if she doesn't. Awesome. So now she's casted her vote. So since she invited Mike, Mike is now gonna get a notification to cast his vote. He's gonna accept that invitation. He's gonna go to the event, make sure all the details match up with the time in which he's available. He's gonna swipe right if he likes, and left if he doesn't. Cool. Now Mike has casted his vote. Now it's pretty easy. All they have to do is just wait for the rest of their friends to vote, and then the top venue gets selected.
All right, so feature improvements include being able to add a bill splitting option so the night will end as smoothly as it began. We want to allow users to upload videos and images so they can be able to share memories. And lastly, we want to incorporate the Open Table API, allowing users to make reservations through the app, cutting out one extra process in the event planning. Thank you.
We just want to give a quick shout out to Lee Douglas for being awesome and being there. Our mentor, Jeffrey Starkey, as well, and also C4Q, and the panelists, of course. And Google. You can't forget Google.
Great job, guys. Panelists, any questions?
So how are your friends detected? Do you have to individually sign up, or you're integrating with like the Facebook API?
So that's a great question. So initially when you sign up, you do have to be part of the group community in order to create events. But for the future, we want to incorporate your contacts list in which we can sync up those contacts and then invite them over to the app by sending them links on their phone.
Have you considered building a plugin or an app that can live on top of Messenger or plugged right into like SMS?
I mean, we have not considered that, but that's a great idea, and we might take that from you.
So I noticed when you were picking the choices of things, their bubbles were different sizes. Does that mean anything, or was that just like, was that popularity of the
Yeah,
of the
so
type?
it's popularity. For our onboarding process, we wanted to, basically the things that people do the most, we wanted them to pop out the most. So like brunch was one, obviously rooftops was another one. Yeah.
Any more questions?
You can download the app if you guys want. So let's all create an event today.
Where does the venue data come from?
We have, we're using 2 different APIs. We have bars APIs as well as Foursquares.
All right then, thank you.
Now I know how we'll decide where to go to celebrate Demo Day tonight. Thanks, group, for sharing with us. Thank you so much to all our teams, and congratulations on your fantastic apps.
Thank you much. Thank you so much for coming here. Let's give everyone a round of applause one more time. They did a great job. Excellent job. We just want to say thank you to everyone for coming today, and we'd like to ask Juke to come back to the stage. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause. Woo!
All right, that was awesome. That was amazing. Let's give our fellows another round of applause. What amazing apps they created. So now I want to invite our panelists on stage to kind of share their reflections on the evening, give any words of advice to the fellows in the program. You know, tonight obviously marks the end of this capstone project. But, you know, it's really also the start of the individual passion projects everyone will be creating, the start of the job search process as well. But, you know, everyone out here is a software developer. So how do we go from that to becoming professionals in the career, taking that first step? So, you know, really want to have our panelists kind of share their insights and impart some wisdom for the fellows. So would you all mind coming up on stage here? Let's welcome up on stage. Yeah, bring the mics up too. Sorry. We got some mics. More mics. All right. So, Aaron, would you mind kicking us off? Yeah.
Happy to do it. Is this on? No. Let me try. Yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Great. I recently learned about C4Q, and when I came in earlier tonight, and I was told what the rigorous schedule was that you guys have had for the last 5 months and will have for the next 3 or 4 months, totally blown away. Totally blown away. The fact that you are going through this class on top of all the other life commitments that you must have is incredible. As you embark on a career in the tech world, you will find it to be incredibly challenging, really dynamic, fast-moving, fast-paced, and super, super fun. And it's not going to be unlike the experience you just had, which is filled with collaboration, filled with challenges and problem solving, and also filled with awesome opportunities ahead. So a couple quick things that I would like to share. The first is that if you are thinking about going into a company, think very strategically about the first 30 or 90 days that you're at that job. You're going to be the new person in the door, right? The new Android engineer. So think about early, like quick wins that you can find, low-hanging fruit, a way for you to establish yourself and prove to your colleagues that you actually have the chops. That although you've only been doing Android engineer development for 8 or 12 months, you actually can like pull your own weight. The second thing is that as an engineer, the best ones collaborate really well with their product partners. So be problem take a problem-solving approach to everything you're doing, not just in how you solve the technical problems in the code, but how you solve the conceptual, user-centric problems. Your presentations were awesome. The user problems you were solving tonight were awesome. So take that with you and engage with all your colleagues in the same vein. If you're starting your own company or you want to start your own company, I'll tell you a couple things. The first, it's thrilling. It's also terrifying. You will hear no so many damn fucking times. It's like, no, I won't give you money. No, I won't join your company. No, 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 no. Don't let that get you down. The perseverance that great entrepreneurs demonstrate at the end of the road is what gets them there. It's literally not the product. It's not a lot of the things that you would think it is. Largely, it's perseverance and execution. So keep your heads up no matter what happens during this job search. Call me, I'm at TripAdvisor, and hopefully I can help you guys out there.
Great. Take them up on it. Anyone else want to share? Yeah, go ahead, jump in. Yeah.
I can jump in as the other product manager, I think, up here. So, can you hear me all right? I'll echo a lot of the positive things. I mean, this is the second one of these demo nights that I've seen, and equally blown away. Just the amazing effort you guys put in, the people you have around you, I think is also amazing. I had some time to think about were I in your shoes, what advice can I add? What are things that are interesting? I think you're going to have a lot of advice on the technical stuff, and that's a hugely important part of the interviewing process, so I don't want to diminish it at all. That's huge, and you got to pass that, and it's real, and it's difficult. Maybe as a product manager up here, I'd like to talk about two things that when I interview people, I've probably been interviewing 1 to 3 people a week for the last 10 years of my career, so there's been a lot of activity there. And two things that have really come out, whether it's product managers or more technical folks, have been understanding the problem that you're solving and the human side of the equation. So you're going to talk about a bunch of technical stuff, and hopefully you're going to do really well there. And again, you have people around you that can help you prepare. But tying all that in together with a very strong understanding of why it is that you're doing the thing that you're doing. We're solving this kind of problem for people. It's understanding the user. It's having a strategic kind of story to thread all the technical stuff through is huge. It's not just at Facebook and Google, or startups. Everywhere you go, you have to have that perspective, and that kind of becomes the theme and the story. So for me, that's a huge part of it. And then the human aspect is having a narrative of, I was there in the trenches, whether it was C4Q or before that or after that or in your academic career, and we tried to do these amazing things, and it didn't work, or someone disagreed with me, or I was wrong, and how you persevere, to Aaron's point, and how you move forward and what you learned from that, and how introspective and humble you were in those experiences is what kind of closes the deal in these job interviews, and again, can be the wrapper and the story and the theme throughout the technical journey. So those are just some observations about the interview process.
Great, thank you, Zohar. I know you've done a variety of things also, right? Like both starting your own company, helping scale some companies, and also working at big companies like Facebook. Do you have any suggestions on, how you would kind of discover or the advantages of different kinds of companies as people are thinking about what they decide to do next?
Yeah, I've been asked this a lot, people who just I meet through the grapevine, and I guess I would suggest people, just be really honest with yourself about what you want out of life. If hearing no all day long scares you, and it's just that is not what I want to do, that would really be a bummer for me every day, and I know I don't thrive in that with that kind of challenge. Then, hike up a mountain, talk to your best friend, have a glass of wine, really get a clear mind and just think, look, where do I want to be in 5 years? The most successful, happiest people that I work with that have gone through these journeys have been very goal-oriented and very deliberate about where they want to be in 5 years, and they kind of walk that backwards, as opposed to, I like the veneer of startup, and it's sexy to me, and even though I don't think I'm going to succeed there, I'm going to go after it anyway, is less successful.
Great, thank you, Zohar.
First, I just want to say I'm really proud of how far all of you've come. I have the luck of, over the last 5 years, of being able to see the interview process and see how you made it to just being selected to be in the class. See the students come in, the fellows, with just not a lot of confidence, not a lot of experience in coding, and it's always like emotional for me to see you all get up on the stage, knowing where you came from, knowing that you didn't know this, with the confidence to come up here and just pitch an idea just like any other startup idea gets pitched in this building and in other buildings. And I think you should all be really proud of that. I'm blown away by how relevant the apps that you design are, like how real they are, how they are solving problems that people actually care about, as opposed to a lot of the apps that I see out there today. Many of the apps today that were demoed, I would go and download them and actually use them and encourage other people to use them. And I think you should be very proud of the work that you've done, how thoughtful you've been about these things. One of the challenges that you're gonna have, I think, going out, I know the struggle that a lot of you go through, where like you're working, some people are missing work to be part of this program because you know the dream that you have of being an engineer. And you're gonna meet these challenges as you go through the interview process, and you're gonna be thinking about, where do I want to go to work? Do I want a big company or a small company? I have this really great idea of what I want to do, and you're gonna be challenged with these choices that you're gonna have to make that are real to your life. And I just want to let you all know that even among people in the field who are successful, like side hustle is a really big thing. So you can go somewhere to learn, to get your start, and you can still be, just like you went to C4Q during the nights, during the weekends, be working on that thing that you're really passionate about while still building up your experience in the field. So there are choices that you're going to have to make that are going to be difficult, but you don't have to give up on your dreams in order to do that. And I think the way that you've navigated this program with life and with going to class, working on this, committing time to the fellows in the program, this is all something that you've built up in yourself that you should continue when you enter the workforce after this.
Thank you.
So first off, I just want to say that I'm blown away by how many features you guys had in those apps. That was a lot of work. There was a lot of integration points. You were showing both sides of the user experience. There's a lot of work that goes into that, and I am really impressed with the level of quality that were in those demos. They're beautiful UIs with really rich features, and you guys clearly put a lot of time and thought into your projects. I think so I'll touch on two things from the interview process perspective, very similar to some of the other things I already said, but the two things we look for the most is what we call the spark. So the spark that lights the fire. And I think that just by you signing up for a program like this and going through this type of grueling experience, I think you are already been pre-selected to naturally have that type of spark. There's a lot of people that, they come through a traditional path and they kind of, they take it for granted and they don't come with that hunger to actually build and put that perseverance in, because nothing is ever easy when it comes to software. The other thing is grit, and that's really like, how do you demonstrate that in your projects, things, you might have had to take shortcuts, you might have had to find a cool and quirky way to get something done. It might not have been the way you wanted, but showing that grit that you were able to still do it, like what we like to say is, not only did I do this, I did it with a pencil, right? So being able to kind of describe that, I think really comes through in interviews, is kind of showing that deep sense of knowledge and how you got to the end solution. The other side of things on the advice side, so being a female in technology, I was when I started my career 20 years ago, I had a lot of peers, actually. I had female peers. But now most of them have left the field and went into other walks of life. And it's really hard a lot of times to be in any kind of diversity situation. You're the only person that's like you in the room. And plenty of times I've thought about leaving the field because of that. My current team, I manage... I have meetings where I'm the only woman in the room and I'm leading the entire effort, and it's intimidating. And I would say stick with it. So don't let any of that get to you because you're really good at what you do. You have those skills, and find other ways to connect with people, and just stick with it.
Second time's a charm. I think it's really inspirational how many of you came up here and have in mind a career that involves social impact. And so I was really struck by that. I strongly encourage you to stick with that conviction. I'll share like a few pieces of advice. One is the apps that you showed tonight were amazing, and one of the things that that I've observed in like at the company that I work at, for example, is that it's really easy to go down lots of different paths because you're going to get feedback from lots of different users, and internally people are going to have all kinds of opinions. We should focus on this, we should focus on that. I'd recommend that at the outset you define what the focus is for the problem that you're solving, and that you have a lot of discipline in sticking with that focus, because your coworkers and users and investors potentially, and all these people are going to pull you in all different directions. So just figure out what that focus is and have the conviction to stick with it. The second thing is that Android apps work great on MongoDB. And if anyone wants some free credits to our cloud service, drop me an email and I will hook you up.
MongoDB.
The last thing I would say is it is hard. I find really hard to break into a new industry if you don't have experience in that industry, because people are using your resume, what you've done in the past, as a proxy for whether or not you're going to be good at what they're hiring for. And that kind of sucks, because it's the best proxy that they have, but like for you, even if you think you would be good at it and you would be and you're otherwise qualified, it's kind of hard to break through. And it will probably be hard in the coming months to necessarily get the job that you want. And I would strongly encourage you to just push through it anyways. I mean, speaking from experience, the company that I work at now, it took me 9 months to get a job there. And I basically emailed them once a month, every month for 9 months. And they were like, "You're nice, but we're not, hiring for this right now," or whatever. And then finally after 9 months, I had spoken to so many people, and I showed up at their conferences. It was like, one of you has to give me a job. And all kidding aside, that, it will be hard, and I recommend that you push through it.
Great, thank you. Thank you, great advice, everyone. Let's thank all the panelists for their insights, and if you don't mind, panelists, go back to the seats. Yeah, thank you so much for your words of wisdom. So just want to remind everyone, obviously, what tonight really represents. It's more than just a culmination of this project and the showcase of talent. You've met and heard from all the fellows in this cohort. I think it's really tonight the start of an exciting pathway to the new careers. And I really believe that our fellows, not only in this cohort, but throughout the program and our alumni, really represents what the best of New York City is and what I believe should be the future of our technology community. So let's give them one more round of applause. And you've seen throughout the tonight just how many people are involved in what we're doing with our panelists tonight, friends and family that support, the instructors and staff, the volunteers. And we had this concept about being a one big team. Everyone participates. Our fellows part of that team as well to make sure that we can achieve and push forward in our mission. So if any of you are interested in getting involved or offering free MongoDB credits, please let us know. You can see the staff wearing the C4Q t-shirts, but there's lots of opportunities. You can donate, you can volunteer, so many different volunteers involved, or the best thing you can do is, hire, talk to one of us about opportunities at your company. We really want to change what technology is, the best way to do that is changing who's within technology and expanding opportunities for more people. So let's all be a part of that. This really it's a really a team effort. And really want to thank all the staff that made this possible. You met some of the instructors, obviously, but we have so many instructors for Android. You met Charlie, Justice, Rusi, John, Jose, well, 2 Joses, Hakeem. Android. I love all the cohorts, but Android really does have a special place in my heart also. Launching the original program for Android was really gratifying, but also one of the hardest challenges I've had, also personally for the organization. And people persevere always so much for Android, and just kind of push it through. And it's a really difficult thing. So giving some love for everyone in Android and also all the instructors that make it possible. Thank you, instructors. Next, want to give a big shout out to our program manager. Shannon, our program manager. And she's actually an alum of the program as well, so obviously have amazing perspective on what everyone's going through. And then also shout out for Sachet. Back in Jamaica, but wishing she could be with us here tonight. Want to thank the rest of the team. This is the 4th night in a row this has been happening. People were doing 4 nights in a row. First, thanking everyone in the development team that make this happen, which makes us possible to secure partners like here at Google, working with our amazing panelists. So to Suhi, who's leading the team, to Jesse, to Jessica, to Sarah, to Chris. Thank you to our amazing development team for making this possible. Let's give them a round of applause. I'm going to give you a shout out to lots of staff because everyone did this to make it possible. So Ellie, who you all saw check in tonight, our community manager, working with our alumni and volunteers. If you're interested in volunteering, talk to her. That's Ellie right there. Give her a round of applause. Extended team, we got Will, we got Justin, Cindy, I know Victoria is here, Caroline. Let's give all of them a round of applause also. And last, on staff, I really want to thank Elle and Joanne. You saw Joanne earlier. She's been the leader for this program, making sure, really pouring her heart and soul into making this possible. So let's thank Joanne for all the work that she's done in seeing this through. And last, thank you to our great friends at Google, everyone that's involved. Sophia and Edwin, we couldn't do this without you. Thanks for being such generous and gracious hosts and for volunteering your time to make this all happen. All right, that's it. Well, so thank you all so much. I hope everyone has a chance to meet some of the fellows, congratulate them, check out some of the apps. There's going to be food and drinks in the reception later. And so go out, enjoy, and have a great night. Thank you all so much for coming.